live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the National News Broadcast. We are coming to you live from Rupavahini's News Studios. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
A very good evening to you. I'm Charita Minipurarachi, and now let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news.
The protesters impact the Bangladesh judiciary. Chief Justice resigns. The President says a decision will be taken next Monday to provide the increased salary of Plantation Labour. Vadivel Suresh, Vijit Vijayamuni and Mahajana Party also supports the President. Sajid says changes will be made to relieve the burden forced upon the masses. Unrus says changing of political parties will be ended under the National People's Power government. The Candy Asala festival begins. 61 persons killed in a plane crash in Brazil.
On to those and other stories in detail now, and starting off with the top story. The Chief Justice of Bangladesh has announced the resignation after an ultimatum from protesters days after Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina fled to neighbouring India. Chief Justice Ubaidul Hasan, who was appointed to help the Supreme Court last year, was told to step down on Saturday by protesters who gathered outside the court in the capital Dhaka. A formal letter confirming Hasan's decision to step down was expected after consultations with President Mohammad Jahabuddin. The students believe the Supreme Court to be highly politicized and want their other 7 members to also resign, according to the Kavdre. Cabinet ministers left blindsided by the sudden fall have gone to ground, while several top appointees have been forced out of office, including the National Police Chief and the Central Bank Governor. On Friday, the bank's Governor Abdul Rauf Tokder resigned from the post and citing personal reasons. Protesters have stormed the central bank's headquarters amidst the political upheaval that led to the end of Hasan's 15-year rule. Mohammad Yunus, who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006 for his pioneering work in microfinance, credited with helping millions of Bangladeshis out of poverty, is leading a transitional government. Social media was flooded with reports of Hindu refugees and temples behind attack, and approximately 1,000 people, reported Bangladeshi nationals, mostly Hindus, approached the border to India with seeking refuge in India.
And to talk more on this, we have with us senior news analyst, international news analyst, Mr. Prasad Dadangadage on board. Welcome on board, sir. So, as we just witnessed, the student protests have claimed at least 400 lives, forced the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina flee the country and resign. And today we witnessed the Chief Justice being forced to step down from his post as well. All this is happening while there is an interim government in place. But still, the protest does not seem to die down. Why is this happening and what is yet to come, Mr. Prasad?
Yes, as we see with all the sources and media and all other sources, we get information. According to all these information sources, the situation in Bangladesh is very chaotic and very violent, because and it's threatening the state of Bangladesh. As you mentioned, now this protest movement gradually and one by one consuming the pillars of the state of Bangladesh. First the legislation, then the judiciary, and thirdly the bank, central bank. Now of course there is an interim government, but still they are not really functioning. They have started their work, but they have to do a lot to stabilize the country. Then today we saw the threat against the judiciary. The Chief Justice Ubaidul Hasan succumbed to the threats of protesters and he resigned. Earlier he announced his resignation, then he left the Supreme Court due to the threats of the protesters. Actually the protesters stormed into the Supreme Court. But they did not vandalize it like Parliament, but they storm and damage certain statues there and like that way. And they were within the Supreme Court premises. And they also, not only the Chief Justice, they forced the other judges of the bench. They forced them to resign, and houses of some of those judges were burned down, according to the reports from Dhaka. So it's a very ugly and very bad situation for a state, democratic state. And due to this condition, we can see a Supreme Court without, I mean, we can say a headless Supreme Court. The situation in central bank is also same. Yesterday they stormed into central bank and they asked central bank governor to resign, and not only the governor, all the deputy governors, saying they are corrupted. But this is not the way in a democratic country to act against the people who are corrupted. There is a way, according to the law and according to the constitution of a country, to act. But now this movement is far exceeding the beyond the levels. They are going beyond the levels and the limitations of the constitution of Bangladesh. So it's a direct threat to the nation. So the interim government, Professor Muhammad Yunus, he's a very experienced person. Not on, actually he's not very experienced in politics, but he's a very experienced social activist and economist, as well as he's very good in dealing with the ground level situations. However, the first and foremost thing they have to do is to re-establish the law and order, because now the total law and order situation is in a very dangerous status. We don't see law and order in many parts of Dhaka. And according to some, I think you also social media posts that circulating in various social media platforms. We have to fact check and verify most of these things. However, some of them, when we fact check, some of them we can say they are accurate. And according to these posts, another thing we could realize on the ground and within the Bangladesh society, the threat of religious clashes, attacks against Hindus. It's one of the alarming situations in Bangladesh now, because according to many reports, Hindus were targeted, and some 20, around 20 Hindu religious places were burned down, and in universities, Hindu and other minority students were targeted according to various reports, and some videos, social media videos showing the attacks against these students. And due to this situation, we saw in our news item, previous news item telecast earlier, prior to our discussion, large number of Hindus, large number of Bangladeshis, and there are many Hindus among these groups, and also according to Indian and other sources, not only Hindus and certain members of Muslim members of Awami League, Sheikh Hasina's party, they are also fleeing towards India to save their lives, and these groups were gathering near the border point of Bihar, state of Bihar in India, and they are trying to enter India. In Indian BSF twice they they prevented these people entering India, because for India it's a very we can say very disturbing situation, because if India gets a huge influx of refugees, Bangladeshi refugees, India will also face various social problems. So Indian government is very concerned, highly concerned about this situation, according to media reports, and Indian Foreign Minister Jaishankar also mentioned about the situation, and he said that India is monitoring the situation, and he also stressed the need of bringing bring back the stability to Bangladesh, because as you mentioned, there's a reason behind that, because the student movement, of course, it started as a democratic protest, democratic. There are many justified and very democratic demands were in it, especially the demands on quota system, job quota system. However, that movement has grown into a very violent campaign. So that's the threat against whole Bangladesh, as well as if Bangladesh get destabilized due to this whole scenario, then there's a threat for the whole region, because we are, our neighbor, our very close friend Bangladesh is increasingly getting destabilized. So this is an alarming situation now, because we all expected that when the interim government was formed, the things would get calm, because that's the main request by the student movement. Now student movement should let the interim government to work, but instead they are doing the work, and they have taken things to their hands and moving ahead with very undemocratic manner. So that's the real threat in front of whole Bangladesh society.
Certainly we hope that these things will fall in place in a way that the citizens will not get harmed, but with the hope of having a better tomorrow. We are thanking Mr. Prasad Langage for joining us, international news analyst, for giving the analysis. Thank you very much, sir. Now, President Ranil Wickremesinghe says a decision will be taken regarding the provisions of increased salary of 1,700 rupees to the Plantation Labour upon convening of the Salaries Commission next Monday.
The President further says that the decision would become legally validated and measures will be taken to provide EPF funds to the state labours with effect from next year. He has made these remarks addressing the Kandy District Plantation Labour Trade Union and Youth Leaders meeting. The event has been organised by the Ceylon Workers Congress and held at the Karoliya Conference and Rama Arts Centre in Kandy. Opportunities have been created for the Tamil population in the upcountry to directly forward their problems to the President. Parliamentarian M. Rameshwaran said that President Ranil Wickremesinghe took on the responsibility in 2002 and created an environment where the oppressed could live with dignity. He made this decision aimed at improving the lives of the state community, including a program to provide with many land rights. He added that the President has allocated the necessary funds for the development of the hill country, including provisions for granting 10 purchase of land and educational advancement of the students in the area. Minister of Water Supply and Estate Infrastructure Development Jeevan Thondaman said that over the past year 160 million rupees have been allocated solely for the state infrastructure in the Kandy district. It is an unprecedented amount. The government is actively taking steps to increase the wages of plantation workers, and several state companies have allegedly agreed to wage hikes. A meeting will be held in the upcoming Monday with the state companies under the patronage of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. State Minister of Justice and Prison Affairs Anuradha Jayaratne said that President Ranil Wickremesinghe has the support of 6 out of 7 MPs elected by the Podujana Peramuna in the Kandy district. Additionally, Minister Jeevan Thondaman stands with us, carrying forward the strength and legacy provided by his grandfather and father. He added that they are committed to helping President Ranil Wickremesinghe to secure a great victory. Former Minister Manu Chananayakar said that as leader representing plantation workers, Mr. P. Digambarun has never submitted a proposal to increase their salaries. When the Ceylon Workers Congress proposed wage increases, they only inquired whether the wages could be raised or not. The Wages Board convened to discuss the daily allowance, resulting in a proposal for a daily allowance of 1,700 rupees. Former minister further said that a 14-day period was provided for raising objections to this proposal. It was officially announced in Kottagala on the 1st of May. Subsequently, the state companies fled a lawsuit and obtained an injunction. However, they are exploring alternative methods to increase the daily allowance for plantation workers. Due to the withdrawal of the Ministry of Labour's gazette notification, the state owners had dropped their case. The Salary Council will reconvene next Monday with a new proposal to set the daily allowance limit at 1,350 rupees and the production allowance of 3 350 rupees. He charged that some individuals are attempting to leverage the situation for political gain. State Minister for Plantation Industries and Mahabali Development Lohan Ratwat said that it is important to note that these actions were not motivated by any election goals. Therefore, he urged all of them to unite in reappointing President Ranil Wickremesinghe as the President of the country, someone who truly understands and addresses the needs of the people, regardless of race, religion or political affiliation. The President further elaborated that for many years, workers' welfare funds have not been disbursed to the working people. They plan to start paying these funds from next year as the country's economy is recovering and the government is now in a position to provide this support. In recent years, the people working in the plantation sector have endured significant hardships, while other workers have received salary increases and farmers have been provided with better income relief and not yet reached with plantation workers. 7 plantation companies have agreed with the government's decision to set a daily salary of 1,700 rupees for plantation workers. Following the transfer of responsibility from Minister Manoj Nanayakara, the President himself will discuss the matter with the Wages Board next Monday. They will also consider enacting special laws if necessary to implement the decision. The President said he believes that both Minister Jeevan Thandapan and Minister P. Digambaran will support the adoption of these new laws.
The General Secretary of the Ceylon Labour National Congress and Badalur District, Parliamentarian Vadivel Suresh, says they will extend their support to President Ranil Wickremesinghe. He has made these remarks at a meeting in Nuwara today. Vadivel Suresh further said they will commit themselves for the victory of President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who had made an enormous service to the people of the country, including the plantation, without any differences based on race. Vadivel Suresh said that there were no two words about the fact that it was J.R. Jayawardena who had granted them citizenship, and President Ranil Wickremesinghe had also committed himself in this endeavour. He also said that it was the President who had given them hospitals, and some people do not understand the policy of setting up new villages affiliated to plantations. He also said that 25 million rupees have been set aside to set up sports clubs to youth in Nuwara. He also said Ranil Wickremesinghe is a leader without racial feelings and they will cast vote to him on the 21st.
Opposition leader Sajid Pradas says all reconstruction procedures and changes will have to be carried out in a manner to lift off the burdens and poverty inflicted upon the common masses. He was addressing a Bhikkhu Advisory Council meeting in Monaragala today. The Bhikkhu Advisory Council has been organized under the heading Towards a Disciplined Society. A large number of bhikkhus was present at this occasion. Opposition leader Sajid Pradas said that they will have to say that Mahasangha and all Sri Lankans that public mandate will definitely be taken and a new agreement is to be announced. He further said that they will become more efficient and changed. Sajid Pradas added that however they will take measures to relieve the burden posed upon the people and will also prove to eliminate poverty by engaging in numerous methodologies. Udagamana program will be implemented. The health education of the country will be developed. SJP leader further said that they were not only the opposition which had shown the country that service could be provided to the people without state patronage in the 76 years of politics. This was a turnout point. Sajid Pradas further said that new capital will be infused to the economy and profitable ventures will be turned out through joint public and private sector projects. He also said that more profitable institutions would have paved the way to generate more employment opportunities. Parliamentarian Ranjit Bandara said that the temples of the country as well as lakes and anicuts were destroyed. He added that former President Premadasu has commenced reconstruction of these projects. He further said that blessings of the Mahasangha is needed for Sajid Premadasa to complete the program.
70 public representatives of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramana in the Polonnaruwa district have decided to extend support to President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the forthcoming presidential election. They have arrived at the decision at a district council meeting of SLPP Polonnaruwa. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga and Polonnaruwa district parliamentarian Jagat Samara Vikrama have presided over the meeting held in Kaduruvela in Polonnaruwa. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga said that if the country had faced the situation now confronted by Bangladesh, it would have been disastrous. He added that Ranil Wickremesinghe is a leader who accepts challenges. He also said that Prime Minister was appointed through national list to Parliament. He added that there was nobody like him who had scolded him. He further said that today, however, talking on behalf of the President as he thinks of the country. All electorate organisers of the Nava Janata Peramuna in the Ratnapura district have also decided to extend support to President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the presidential election. Minister Ranjit Simalapitiya said that they were in an economic downturn, but today a clear change has been witnessed. However, the country has not yet come out of the crisis. The State Minister also said that all citizens need to safeguard the leadership of the President. That was why they were able to the entire parliamentary group in Kergol to support the President. State Minister Kanaka Herat said that they are discussing on the future program with the participation of 6 out of 9 parliamentarians representing the Kergol district, the SLFP and several other parties. He added that they wanted to develop the country first. Former Minister Vijit Vijayamani Soisa has also extended support to President Ranil Wickremesinghe. He has disclosed this fact addressing the public meeting in Bibile today.
And meanwhile, leader of the National People's Power, Honorable Kumar Perara, says the practice of changing political parties will come to an end under an NPP government. He has made these remarks addressing a public meeting in Plantation Labour yesterday. The National People's Power is organising a series of public rallies throughout the island under the theme Punarudeta Ratama Ekata, targeting the presidential election. Many speakers representing the party were present at this meeting. NPP leader Honorable Kumar Perara said that politics based on changing parties will have to be stopped. He also said that National People's Power government will enact legislation in this connection. Those who change parties will lose their parliamentary portfolios. Honorable Kumar Perara further said that they are jumping party to party not in the interest of the people but for their private welfare. He also said that some politicians are giving money to retain a politician in a party. He has questioned whether people filled with such voices should hold the rule. The NPP leader also said that local politics is fashioning a manner to hand over power from one family to another. He also said that Sri Lankan public service has become inefficient due to providing politically motivated promotions and appointments. He also said that under an NPP government, there will be a law-abiding country with national unity and they will build a country without robberies.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe says he will ensure the political future of all, including former public representatives of provincial councils and local government institutions who have lined up to extend support to him at the upcoming presidential election. The President has made these observations attending a special meeting in Kandy today. The event has been organised by the Forum of the Heads of Former Local Government Institutions. The former heads have appreciated the President's program to carry forward the economy of the country. They have pledged to consolidate the victory of President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the forthcoming presidential election. A document of proposals of the forum was also presented to the President on this occasion. Parliamentarian Mahinananda Aludgamage said that the group extending support to the President at the forthcoming presidential election is hoping to set up a new party by next week. He added that necessary arrangements are underway for the formation of the new group. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says that the people should decide to hand over the country to the present President, who is implementing a national policy according to a national agenda. The minister was participating in a program in the Badula district today. The minister has inspected road development projects being implemented in Alla and Bandaravella in the Badula district today. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that an anti-corruption bill has been passed to prevent the occurrence of frauds and corruption and to attract more foreign investments by maximizing international support. He added that now 5 laws have been enacted by Parliament. He also said President Ranil Wickremesinghe is unable to print money and he is not able to receive local and foreign debt according to his choice. He also said that economic policies could not be changed according to the preferences of the politicians. He also said that it is a national responsibility to adhere to these policies.
Final rights of first news anchor of the national television and veteran media person Sumana Nedlampitiya have taken place at the General Cemetery, Boralda this afternoon. She has passed away at the age of 80 years. She was entrusted with the task of news announcing for the first time since taking over of the television channel by the government in the beginning of 1980 decade. The exact date of commencement of the national television is 12th March 1981. Suvarna Nelampitiya, prior to joining the national television, was employed at the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. She had joined the Radio Ceylon on the 1st of July 1967. The late media artist was felicitated with many awards. The remains of Ms. Nelampitiya was brought to the SLPP from her residence in Torrington Gardens this afternoon. Therefore, the body was brought out to the General Cemetery, Boralla, to perform the final rites.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe has announced that he is working to ease numerous legal regulations that have impacted businesses and is developing a new institutional framework to support entrepreneurs. He also mentioned plans to establish provincial economic development boards to decentralize economic authority across the provinces. The President shared these insights during a meeting with representatives of the Kandy District Trade Association today. The event organized by the Kandy United Trade Front was represented by many Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim business associations. The President further said the economy would be elevated to a more high level by the middle of next year. The President said that the country's economy is currently developing with an increase in foreign reserves. However, next year reserves may decline due to the allowance for vehicle imports. Despite this, importing vehicles is necessary and the country needs to address these short-term challenges. The President further said that additionally, a new banking law has been introduced. It allows for the continuation of debt restructuring and aims to address non-performing loans in banks as well as secure new capital. They anticipate completing these activities next year, which will help reduce domestic debt and support continued progress. He added that they have negotiated with Japan to implement the Kandy City Development Plan starting next year, with the goal of building the economy of the central province centered on Kandy. Tourism will play a key role in this development, and they aim to design a program to encourage tourists to stay at least 3 nights in Kandy. The first Kumal Perara of the Kandy SLPP is now parading the streets.
The parade has got underway at the auspicious time of 6 minutes after 6 o'clock this evening, facing the right direction. The Perara is scheduled to return by Dalada Street, DS Sedanaka Street, Temple Road and also across Devavedya, Colombo Street, Yatinuvara Street and Rajavedya. The sacred casket of relics of today's Perara is being carried by majestic tusker Indiraja of Sri Dalada Maligava. Kote Raja and Bian Raja are the other majestic elephants which accompanied the Indiraja tusker. The Kumal Perara is comprised of 40 elephants and more than 20 dancing groups. Many local and foreign tourists have arrived in the Kandy since this morning to watch the Perara. 5 Kumal Perara are scheduled to parade the streets till the 14th of this month. The first Randoli Perara is scheduled to parade the streets on the 15th. The final Randoli Perara is scheduled to parade on the 9th.
And we have more news from home in brief. Our correspondent says large numbers of foreign tourists are arriving in the Al area these days. A reason attributed to the influx of foreign visitors is said to be the prevalence of a lengthy vacation period in European countries these days. A.G. Ratnapala Samaravira, who was the chairman of the Maliban Group of companies, has passed away. He was the son of the founder of the Maliban Group, A.G. Hini Apuhami. Mr. Samaravira, who was born in the year 1941, had contributed significantly to bring the name of Maliban to the international arena. And that's all the news we have from home. Stay tuned with international stories coming up next.
Prima Kutumi, Fantamai.
A plane has crashed in the Brazilian state of Sao Paulo, killed all 61 people on board.
twin-engine turboprop was flying from Cranswell in the southern state of Perana to Guarulhos Airport in Sao Paulo city. It came down in the town of Vinhedo, whereupon the airline says. Footage circulating on social media shows a plane descending vertically, spiraling as it fails the ATR 72/500 was carrying 57 passengers and 4 crew. Local authorities say that there were survivors. Brazil President Lula da Silva expressed solidarity with the families and friends of the victims. Sao Paulo State Governor Tarcísio Gomes de Freitas declared 3 days of mourning.
Yesterday, Japan marked the 79th anniversary of the U.S. atomic bombing of the city of Nagasaki, which left tens of thousands of people dead. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida attended the ceremony, while envoys from Israel, the United States and the United Kingdom did not attend the event. Japanese Prime Minister said in his remarks that he is striving for a world without nuclear weapons. Nagasaki Mayor Shiro Suzuki also gave remarks at the event and said the world is facing a critical situation due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine and concerns about military escalation in the Middle East. Earlier this week, U.S. Ambassador Rahm Emanuel said that he would not attend this year's event as Israel Ambassador to Japan, Gadi Cohen, will not be invited.
Prima Kottumi, Fantamai.
Join us tomorrow at the same time for the very latest on Channel I. I'm Dulanjali together with Charita signing off. Good night.
A pleasant night.